ॐ ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या योगविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः योगाः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः परब्रह्मणे स्वतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मयोगविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण योग वेदांत दर्शन साधना द्वारा आत्मानुभूति कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्मस्य पुनरुत्थान जागरण विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये पतंजलि महर्षि प्रणीत योग दर्शन शास्त्रस्य व्यास भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्नं कैवल्यार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ योगदर्शनाचार्याणां स्मरणं नमनं प्रार्थना। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम कपिलमहर्षये नमः। ओम कपिलमहर्षये नमः। ओम कपिलमहर्षये नमः। ओम पतंजलि महर्षये नमः। ओम पतंजलि महर्षये नमः। ओम पतंजलि महर्षये नमः। ओम व्यास महर्षये नमः। ओम व्यास महर्षये नमः। ओम व्यास महर्षये नमः। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अथ श्री पतंजलि महर्षि प्रणीत योग दर्शन शास्त्र चतुर्थ पादः कैवल्य पादः सूत्राणि 14 से परिणाम एकत्वात् वस्तुतत्वं वस्तु साम्ये चित्तभेदात् तयोः विभक्तः पन्थाः तदुपरागापेक्षित्वात् चित्तस्य वस्तु ज्ञाता ज्ञातं सदा ज्ञाताः चित्तवृत्तयः तत्प्रभोः पुरुषस्य परिणामित्वात् न च एकचित्ततन्त्रं वस्तु तदप्रमाणकं तदा किं स्यात् न तत्स्वाभासं दृश्यत्वात् एकसमये च उभय अनवधारणम्. Just for Parayanam, few stotras will do. There's some connection, familiarity will establish. Now we have to study the sutra number 18. 17 में क्या था? तदुपराग अपेक्षित्वात् चित्तस्य वस्तु ज्ञात अज्ञात. You know, the question was, if the vastu is totally other than the chitta, so vastu should be always available for the chitta to recognize, because chitta's job is to recognize. Answer is what? The recognition, jnata, non-recognition, ajnata of the chitta, of the object, depends on the uparaga, the proximity of the object with the chitta. So, tad uparaga अपेक्षित्वाद चित्तस्य वस्तु ज्ञाता अज्ञात. वो उस जोन में नहीं आया तो चित्त के द्वारा जाना नहीं जाता. इसका अर्थ ये नहीं है कि वस्तु नहीं है. वस्तु इज देयर. And vastu is not necessarily, not at all, one with the chitta. Vastu is alag, chitta is alag. And uparaga, the example of magnet is given. Only to that zone the filings come that the magnet attracts. So to chitta के zone में वृत्तियां वस्तुएं आते हैं तो उसका ज्ञान होता है. हो गया. Now, is a chitta independently the knower is the question. No, it also is a instrument of knowledge or object of knowledge. Therefore, that also is not the actual knower. उसके द्वारा और कुछ जान रहा है. Now, see that inquiry, club it with the Vedanta. Outer objects, then the sense organs, then the mind, then the intellect, then the one who knows it, the jiva. And then even that jiva is also illumined by somebody in whom all these are not there. Then where from all these have come? From the Maya. Devatma Shaktim Swagunair Nigudha, which we'll be discussing from tomorrow for 4 or 5 days. in our morning Shvetashvatara as a karana for the entire misconceived world. उसको इसको क्लब करो तो पॉइंट और क्लियरली समझ में आता है. So in that 18th mantra, not only Purusha is introduced, but Purusha is said to be continuous. Purusha is said to be the Jnata, and for him, even the Chitta also is Jnaya. Therefore, it also is Jada only. So many things are achieved in one sutra. What is it? 18th wala, let us pade. Before that, Yasya tu tadeva chittam vishayaha tasya. See, the self is the one which is the self of Chitta. Therefore, Chitta is the Vishaya for the self. Self is Purusha here. Now let us see. Sadajnataha chittavruttayaha tat prabhoho purushasya aparinamitvat. Sadajnataha chittavruttayaha tat prabhoho purushasya aparinamitvat. So chitta is not final. Chitta is a prabhu. The prabhu is Purusha. Purusha is Nitya and Purusha is Aparinami. And to that Purusha, the chitta and all its vrittis are Jnata. Whether the vrittis are in the laya avastha in the nidra, whether they are in the sukshma avastha in the antakarana, in the swapna, or they are perceiving the gross or outer objects through the senses. देखो डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्वप्न एंड जागृत क्या है. इन जागृत ऑब्जेक्ट अलग, इंस्ट्रूमेंट अलग, चित्त अलग, सेंस ऑर्गन अलग, चित्त ऑब्जेक्ट अलग है, चित्त अलग है. इन बीच के इंस्ट्रूमेंट ईगो मतलब सॉरी इंद्रिया इज आल्सो डिफरेंट. लाइक द ऑब्जेक्ट इज अ फॉर्म, Indriya is the eye, Mana is the one. So Mana and eye and object are different in the waking. When all the three are only Mana, object also is mind. The instrument also is the mind. The cognizer also is the mind. That's called Swapna. बस इतना ही फर्क है. So whether Chitta Vrittis are that stage of Laya in Nidra or Swapna Sthiti of everything in Sukshma or Jagrata Avastha of knowing stool objects, all of them are Sada Chittavruteha, all of them always are Jnataha, are known. Obviously by whom? The Purusha. And how they are knowing and why they are knowing? Because Purusha is there and is Nitya. Because he is Nitya, is Aparinami. Interesting. Aparinami. थोड़ा इसको फिर से वेदांत ऐड करो. The one who knows all this is the consciousness. Consciousness is always consciousness only, it never becomes Parinami. Then what is the Parinama in the consciousness? Be attentive. The Parinama in the consciousness is becoming knower. See, from the Upadhi or Chitta Vritti standpoint, the consciousness is knower. From the consciousness standpoint, it is only Sakshi or illuminator. It doesn't fall down to the level of knower. Knower is Jiva, who unnecessarily comes and he only suffers. Okay. Job of consciousness, Purusha, is just being there as present in everything. That's why in the pure that Taittiriya Upanishad Vedanta we have studied. What is that? What is the meaning of Sarvajnatva of the Parama Atma? What is the meaning of omniscience of Paramatma? Sarvajnatva. Sarvajnatva of Paramatma is I am everything, and that everything means Jnapti Swarupa, that consciousness. That is the meaning of Sarvajnatva. Not that Sarvajnatva means all the objects, etc., are known, and that also through the medium of thoughts. That is for a jiva in the Ajnana Vyavahara, Kala in the Vyavahara it is. At Ajnana level, in at the Vyavahara level, the way which we have to see and know the world, in that way Paramatma नहीं होते. परमात्मा क्या है ना, मैं सब हूं और सब मैं केवल ज्ञप्ति स्वरूप हूं. I am everything, that everything means consciousness. That's called Sarva and Jna. Again I am telling, our Jnanam is what? Thought Jnanam. And in our Jnanam, there are three things. The Jnayam, Jnata, Jnanam. Isn't it? In pure Paramatma, ऐसा नहीं है. There is no thought, There is no Gneyam, Jnata, Jnana, thoughts. Then what? Everything is me and me is consciousness. This everything me and me is consciousness, we are explaining from our standpoint to understand. From the self standpoint, ऐसा कहना बोलना नहीं बताओ. Like when you ask me how is the taste, I tell you it is tasty and full enjoyable. But that is a thought which I explained to you, used to explain to you because you ask question. But the thought that the sweet is sweet, the thought that it is tasty, the thought that it gives happiness has nothing to do with the taste and happiness experience which I got. In the same way, आत्म चैतन्य का दृष्टि से देखो तो वो एक ही है, वो चैतन्य स्वरूप है बस. Like you introduce the third person to second person, that he is an officer. How do you introduce he is an officer? You introduce as a thought in that office. But for that person whom we are introducing, it is not a thought that I am an officer. It is an experience. I am the officer. So in a thought it is explained that Sarvagna means it is everything and it is consciousness. It is an explanation. But when it comes to the experience of the self, experience of self is this way only can be explained, but it is inexplicable. It cannot say ki I am everything and I am consciousness because there is no thought to say that. But it behaves, means it knows or it remains as or it establishes. Now you understand the difficulty of words. Anybody you use, you can't explain. That's why it's called even being भी नहीं, इंग भी निकालते, just be, अब भी नहीं बोल सकते उसको. That is why it is yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa. Okay, now sutra we have studied. Sorry. Yasya tu tadeva chittam vishayaha tasya. Now sutra. Sada jnataha chitta vrittayaha tat prabhoho purushasya aparinamitvat sada jnataha chitta vrittayaha tat prabhoho purushasya aparinamitvat. So in this, before studying the Bhashyam, which is very short, one thing we learn it is what? If there is Purusha inside, he is Nitya. He is the one who is a knower of all the Chittavrittis with all their birth and death and in between total modification. Now be at it. That Purusha is me. Remain as Purusha, as knower of Vrutthis. Why are you identifying the Vrutthis? That's called samsara. Identify. When the buffalo is going, अब जाने देना यार, why are you identifying with it? है ना? Buffalo जा रहा है. Why do you say aham buffalo and mama buffalo? The moment you say it is mama buffalo, immediately then you feel यार इसको घास खिलाना है वगैरह. It's only feeling कि मेरा है कर. So to the Vrutthis are coming and going. They are like buffaloes. आन दो जान दो. Why are you identified? Like there 20 buffaloes are going. So if you identify the 20 buffaloes, you will be samsari 20 times. 10 identify नहीं किया, उसको बेच दिया तो yours is reduced to 10. But एक buffalo you are identified, that is enough to trouble you. Now you drop that also. उसको भी बेच दिया. So to hundreds of vrittis identified, hundreds of sufferings. 50 vrittis identified, 50. 10 vrittis identified, 10. एक वृत्ति से identified suffer. अब उसको भी छोड़ो, there's no suffering. You are only a Purusha to eliminate it. But because of the abhyasa, we without pausing and thinking identify with that वृत्ति. The काम वृत्ति आ गया तो immediately हम उससे आइडेंटिफाई करके मेरा वृत्ति है, मुझे इसको फुलफिल करना. You remain as काम वृत्ति आया तो आने दो, जाएगा जाने दो. Why are you worried? Become a witness. All the vrittis come for some time because they are in vasanas. Because we are not fulfilling them or involved in them, they get exhausted. That's called purgation of vasana, constipation, say purgation. This is the by Sakshi Bhava, we exhaust all the vasanas through the vritti. And you are the self. By the way, the meaning of the sutra, this way you can make use of it. Sada jnataha chitta vrittayaha purushasya aparinamitvat. So the avarinami purusha is mukta purush. Parinami Purusha is Jiva. So the Purusha has two ways of seeing the Vrutthis. One is mere Jnanam, that's called Vrutti Vyapti. Identifying with this is called a Purusha Phala Vyapti. Yesterday in the Atma Moda we have discussed. Yesterday and day before. Vrutti Vyapti and Phala Vyapti. So the Bhashya let us study now. Only a helpful sadhana from it we are discussing. We discussed. Chitta Vrittis are already all the time illumined by the Purusha. Be an illuminating Purusha. Don't be identified Jiva to suffer. By the way, that's not the purpose here discussion. Our discussion is पुरुष के प्रति हमारा दृष्टि ले जाना. He says यदि चित्तवत् प्रभुः अपि पुरुषः परिणमेत. So here it is accepted for granted by Vyasji that there is Purusha and he is a Prabhu of all the Chitta with its Vrutthis. After accepting it, then he is going to the next level of thinking. What is the next level? He is that Purusha who is a Prabhu of the Chitta and its Vrutthis. He is a Parinami. He is a Purusha. He is a Prabhu of the Chitta. That is already accepted. Okay, ये भी परिणामी है चित्त के समान वो डिस्कशन. तो यदि चित्तवत् प्रभुः अपि पुरुषः परिणमेत, like the chitta gets parinita depending on the object's proximity or not. Earlier सूत्र है ना, उपराग का है ना. तो ऑब्जेक्ट्स के उपराग और दूर के कारण वृत्तियों में इस ऑब्जेक्ट का नॉलेज होता है या नहीं होता. दैट इज हैविंग नॉलेज और नॉट हैविंग इज द परिणामित्व ऑफ द चित्त. इज द पुरुष आल्सो इज अ परिणामी. इफ ही इज परिणामी, समटाइम्स ही विल नो द चित्त, समटाइम ही विल नॉट नो चित्त. ऐसा तो बात नहीं है. हमेशा चित्त इज नोन टू पुरुष. हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल? ओनली व्हेन इज अ परिणाम. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सदा ज्ञाता चित्तवृत्तयः. By saying the chitta vrittis are always known, what is proved? What is proved is the Purusha who is the Swami of it, Prabhu of it, seer of it is always there as he is. Therefore, he is eternal, he is without parinama. Nitya and Nirvikalpa. See what we studied in Vedanta. So that is what. Yadi chittasya prabhuvapi purusha parinameta tataha tat vishayaha chitta vrittayaha shabdadi vishayavat jnata jnataha syuhu. Then sometimes the Prabhu is a Parinami, therefore he will not see the Chitta Vrittis, and through that the objects, even though Chitta is there, objects are there. Actually क्या बात है? Proximity में आते हैं objects, then Chitta knows. But Purusha is always aware of the Chitta, whether the Chitta is an object in its proximity, therefore having a thought of the object or not. This is possible because there is a Purusha is aparinam. So, सदा ज्ञातत्वं तु मनसः तत्प्रभोः पुरुषस्य अपरिणामित्वम् अनुमापयन्ति. So, the Purusha is aware of the chittas, vrittis all the time. This proves the aparinamitva of the Purusha. Purusha is not parinami. Otherwise, if Purush भी परिणामित हो रहा है, तो anything gets modified, it is subject to misery, because there is misery in modification, because modification ends in destruction. एक क्या है ना, पुरुष को साधना है और पुरुष प्रभु है, ये भी साधना है, और पुरुष सब कुछ जानता है वृत्तियों का, ये भी साधना है, और वो अपरिणामी है. साधना means you have to achieve in our understanding. Then such Purusha we search on the seat of meditation in us. Who is that in Vedantic language? Who is that continuous, constant illuminator, not illuminated, illuminator of all the mind and their thoughts of their birth, their modification, their death, etc. And absence of even chitta, for example, either in sleep or in samadhi. समाधि में भी निद्रा में भी चित्त के वृत्तियां स्थगित हो जाते हैं, विथ वासनास इंटैक्ट देयर. बट इन द असंप्रज्ञात समाधि, निर्बीज में सर बीज चले गए, उसके बाद चित्त अपने वृत्तियों को नहीं लाता, बट चित्त है वो यूज किया जाता है पुरुष के द्वारा, वेदर इट इज इन वेदांत मार्ग और वेदर इट इज इन द योग मार्ग. नो, आई विल नॉट टेक इनटू दैट ट्रैक. Our let us stick to the main sutra. Therefore, yadi chittam वत् प्रभु अपि पुरुषः परिणमेत तथा तद्विषयाः चित्तवृत्तयः शब्दादिविषयवत् ज्ञाता ज्ञाताः स्युः सदा ज्ञातत्वं तु मनसः तत्प्रभोः पुरुषस्य अपरिणामित्वम् अनुभावयन्ति है ना। चित्तवृत्तियां हमेशा जाने जाते हैं उनके प्रभु पुरुष के द्वारा इज ए प्रूफ दैट द पुरुष इज अपरिणामी। So Purusha is there. He is the one who knows all the vrittis, but he himself doesn't get modified, and therefore he is aparinami. Why this discussion is going on? Our attention from the object to the chitta, from the chitta to the Purusha, we have to bring. Then in the Purusha identity, there is Kaivalya. Kaivalyam is the purpose of this particular fourth padam. Done. Now the next one. Syadashanka. भैया एक डाउट है पूर्व पक्षी चित्तमेव स्वाभासम विषयाभासं च chitta itself is self illuminates and is must be illuminating the vrittis through the vrittis objects. Vainashikanam chitta atmavadinam bhavishyati agnivat. To the Vainashikas, Buddha Pratyaya people, they have this thought that Buddhi is self-effulgent, therefore it knows itself, then it knows the objects through the chitta vrittis. Then in their case of this type of discussion, what they want to say is, chitta is sufficient because of its self-ability of illumination to know the object. There is no need of Purusha. The Vainashika, the Kshanikavadis, they say everything is seen and known because of the chitta vrittis. When the chitta and vrittis are resolved, there is no world. That no world they call as Shunyavad. Shunyavad is there is nothing. अगर कोई है तो क्षणिकवाद. What Vedanta says, अरे बेवकूफ वो शून्य है करके कौन बता रहे? एक सर्टिफाई करने वाला पुरुष होना चाहिए ना. That पुरुष दे डिने and they never understand. बेवकूफ अरे जिस पुरुष डिने के तुम पुरुष ही तो ना. They don't want to understand it. That is a problem in logic. That's a problem in the Bauddhavada, Buddhivada. They are not taking that awareness at all into account. See, when there's nobody, who is saying there's nobody? Somebody should be there, no? And that somebody should be there everywhere to say that there everywhere nobody is there. वही कह रहे काल है या नहीं है, देश है या नहीं है, वस्तु है या नहीं है, कौन जान रहा है? चैतन्य आत्मा. ये चैतन्य आत्मा कहाँ है? हर काल में, हर देश में, हर वस्तु में. हर काल में, हर देश में वस्तु चैतन्य आत्मा ही है. तो फिर देश काल वस्तु क्या है? दैट्स द प्रोजेक्शन. दैट इज द वेदांत. Tomorrow we will see the answer for this Kshanikavadins. What will be proved is Chitta is not Swaprakasha. It is Jada. Therefore, Purusha is there behind to know. That Purusha is we. Let us see it. Om Natat Swabhasam Drishyatvat, Natat Swabhasam Drishyatvat, Natat Swabhatam Drishyatvat. This is the 19th Sutra. That Chitta is not Swabhasam. It has no power of knowing itself. Because it's itself is Drishya. कोई भी दृश्य बनता है ना वो स्वयं के प्रकाश को नहीं रखता. ओनली दृक् स्वरूप अलोन कैन बी स्वप्रकाश. लिटिल सटल डिस्कशन मजा आएगा, कल हम देखेंगे. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स फॉर योर पेशेंस. हरि ओम.